Newt Gingrich has won the state of Georgia, according to US media projections. The former House Speaker was tipped to take his home state of Georgia decisively. He's already thanked his home state on Twitter and is hoping the win will pick up some much-needed momentum. Well, John Barron is the host of Planet America here on ABC News 24 and has been watching these polls very closely. John, no surprises there in Georgia?
No, none in Georgia. It looks as though we could be heading for a very, very close contest in Ohio. We were talking a little earlier about how crucial that state is going to be. They've just finished voting in the last quarter hour. The exit polls are coming out and it's good news for Mitt Romney. He's up about 4.5% at this early stage.
Right, now I understand Ron Paul is speaking right about now. I wonder if we can take a listen in.
Mm-hmm. We celebrate next year the 100th anniversary of the Federal Reserve by repealing the Federal Reserve Act. But a lot has happened in the last 4 years. These problems have been going on for a long time. It'd be nice if we could blame one person or one administration, but it's been going on a long time. So many young people here, I think you're realizing you're getting a bad rap for what you're inheriting. You'd like a much better deal, and the better deal can be found in less government and only sending people to Washington who have actually read the Constitution or will obey the Constitution and take their oath of office seriously. Which would do so many wonderful things for us. Take, for instance, if you're tired of the wars, I hope you're sick and tired of the wars that we're involved in. What if we had the return to the Constitution? The founders made sure in the document, in the Constitution, that the wars would only occur not by the executive branch, but only by the people through their representatives in Congress. That's the way all wars should be declared. If necessary, they should be declared, won, and get them over with and come home. That's the way it was supposed to be done.
Right, Ron Paul there speaking in North Dakota. I'm with John Barron, the host of Planet America here on ABC News 24. John, what do you make of Ron Paul and his position in the race? Because he's never been a front runner. He's never going to be a front runner. Yeah. What does he bring to the race?
Well, we kind of heard Ron Paul's greatest hits in that couple of minutes there from his speech. He is running on a platform that is anti national government, anti-Fed Reserve. He thinks the American dollar should be back on the gold standard, which it hasn't been since the early 1970s. And he thinks that America should not have an assertive foreign policy and should not get involved in foreign wars, shouldn't even have bases on foreign soil, which is why Ron Paul has a fascinating sort of coalition behind him, which is on the extreme libertarian right of the Republican Party and the left wing of the Democratic Party. So you get a lot of college kids, a lot of young people that are attracted to his anti-war message, as well as his libertarian small government, small sort of Fed Reserve intervention, low taxing kind of message. He's not going to get elected president, as you say. He has done well in the number of caucuses, but he's going to come fourth out of 4 candidates in today's Super Tuesday primaries. But he is stoking that sort of anti-government message that has led to the rise of the Tea Party movement. He was one of the ideological godfathers of the Tea Party movement after the 2008 election. So he is a significant player in all of this. He's likely to stay in this race, not because he's going to be the nominee, but because he wants to keep making these speeches that broadcasters across the US and around the world will keep crossing to.
Now, over in Ohio, how are things looking for Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum? It was a very tight race.
Yeah, and is shaping up to continue to be very tight. And this is probably going to be the one we'll be watching over the next couple of hours, Ohio plus probably Tennessee and Oklahoma. The most contested, and as we were talking about earlier, Ohio is really the test. If Mitt Romney can win there, he can prove that it is he, not Rick Santorum, that has the ability to reach across and try and get some blue-collar conservative Democrats to vote for a Republican candidate.
But if he doesn't, then what happens?
If he doesn't, then this race could go on for a very long time, maybe all the way through to the last primaries at the end of June and even to the Republican convention at the end of August. So this race may not be over today, but if it shapes up as it's looking, that the metrics are favouring Mitt Romney, who's now extended to a 10% lead nationally over his nearest rival, Rick Santorum, the pressure will be on Rick Santorum to drop out, not because Mitt Romney has sealed the nomination, but because mathematically it's getting very difficult for anybody else to get to that 1,144 delegate vote they need to win the nomination. The pressure will become intense on not just Rick Santorum but also Newt Gingrich, despite his big win in Georgia. He's going to be trying to position himself as the alternative to Mitt Romney, not Rick Santorum now.
Comeback kid Mark II.
Exactly. So this could go on for a long time, but the pressure for everyone to drop out of the race and get in behind Mitt Romney is going to be extreme after the next couple of hours.